Hello, welcome back. So in the last video, we learned about anchor tags, we learned about the HR elements, and we also learned about the line break, BR elements. Now in this video, I'll be showing us two other elements. I won't really call them minor elements, but they are elements that you really find, we really use, but I'm sure there are things you've probably found. So I'm just going to do this inside our about page. So in the about page, we're going to have, first of all, let's have a paragraph. We have a paragraph. So in the paragraph, I'm going to write, now I want to write, okay, just follow me. In this page, we prepare all seekers how to prepare. We prepare that, let me change this. So we teach all job seekers how to prepare for job interviews. I save that and let's go to our about page and see what we have. Okay. In this page, we teach all job seekers how to prepare. I think we should probably make that an H2. Let's make it an H2. H2. Okay. Let's make it an H2 since it's the beginning of the page and it's a major headline. Okay, so inside of it, I'm going to have, let me have a paragraph that says, below is a question to check if you are human and not robots. All right, so below is a question to check if you are human and not robots. Now in our page, we want to ensure that the user is human, not a robot. In this page, we teach all job seekers how to prepare for job interviews. Now below is a question to check if you are human and not robot, rather, and not robot. So the question we're going to ask is a very simple one, and not robot. So the question is very simple. I'm just going to write another paragraph as well, and the paragraph will say, okay. Now what we want to write is H2O is the scientific representation for water. If this is true, click on the link below to proceed with this training. All right. So I formatted it by saving. Now I have below is a question to ask if you are human and not robots. The question is H2O is, okay, let me just put this. H2O, sorry. H2O is the scientific representation for water. Full stop. If this is true, click on the link below to proceed with the training. Now I save and this is what we have. This is what we have. But what we want to achieve now is I want to have this H2O written properly. I want to have it written properly the way it is being written. So what I'm going to do is we have the sub element and the sup element. Let me write them out here. This is how the sub element looks like. Can you see? And this is how the sup element or sup, S-U-P, supplementary, looks like. What the sub element does is to write something a little below the text. For instance, now, you know how H2 is written normally. The 2 is always written below at the lower bottom of H. So that is what the sub element is for. The SUP, S-U-P, is used for something similar but reverse. We're going to use them as examples one after the other. So this sub, I'm going to wrap these two, just these two, around it, S-U-B. Now, don't get confused. What I'm doing right now, PH, these two alone is wrapped around this SUB. I remember I told us in previous videos that if you forget to write a closing tag for that element, this sub would affect everything. But we are closing it, telling the browser, I want only, it's okay, stop here. I want only this guy inside here to be affected. So these two is the only one affected, and every other text continues as usual. Now I save, and let's refresh and see what it looks like. Can you see? H2O, exactly as it is. Now that is one good way. That is one good way to use the sub element. Now I'm going to have another example again for the sub element before we do the sub element. Okay, if this is true, proceed to the next question. Let me write that way. If this is true, proceed with the next question. And I remove this. Okay, let me see if I can put it on one line. All right, it's still formatted. All right, so if this is true, proceed with the next question. Proceed with the next question. Now, the next question I'm going to ask is half plus half. Now, how do you write half? Half plus half. 1/2. Am I right? Plus, where is our plus? Plus 1/2. Half plus half equals 1. Let's see if I look at what we have. It's not looking like what we really intend. So the question is, how do you write half? We've already used these two here. So we're going to just we're going to add that same sub element and wrap it around the 2 again and see what it looks like. Sub, wrap it around the first one and the second one as well. I wrap the 2, sorry, not around the 1, around the 2. SUB, cut and paste. So I've wrapped the 2 around that sub element. I save. Look at what we have. We have something close, but not still exactly what we want. You can see that it's looking like 1. The 1 is still standing. And normally when you write up, 1 is always up. The other one is always down. And that is where the second element comes in, which is SUP, S-U-P. This S-U-P here. So let's cut it and use it. So this is what we want, the 1 to also be above, not looking like the normal one we are used to. I cut this and I place it around. Don't get confused. I wrap the 1 inside a sub element. I wrap, we have slash here, which indicates divided by, and then I wrap the 2 inside a sub element. Plus, I do the same thing. 1, let's wrap that as well. Sub element, okay. Sub, S-U-P. All right, so I did the same thing for both of them and I save right now, and we should have it exactly the way it is. Can you see? It is exactly the way it is. So 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1. That is how you use the sub and the sub, SUB and SUP elements. And trust me, except when you're writing things like this, it's not something that we really get to use in real life situations. But you can just try them out, write out equations. By the way, remember this is a question. Below is a question. Let's change the word. Below are questions, because below are questions. Now I can actually decide to wrap these questions inside a list. Below are questions. These are the questions here now. Let me space it out. These are the questions. Why not let's have them, in a list. We've talked about list already in the previous video. So we're going to make it an ordered list. Question 1 and question 2. So let's see how we can achieve that. Ordered list, OL. Inside the OL, I will have two lists. I have two lists. So I have an OL here. Let me remove this let me bring this down so that you don't get confused. We've created an ordered list with two lists, but we've not added anything inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy these our guys, each of the questions I cut and I place it inside here, the first one. The second paragraph as well, I cut and I place it inside the second LI. Let me space it so that you don't get confused. This is the first LI. The second LI, I place it inside as well. Let me save. So I think I like the formatting option right now. So inside the ordered list, I have two lists. The first list carries that first question we asked. Inside the first list is a paragraph. The paragraph has text, it has a sub element, and it has sub element. No, sorry, this one is just sub. The second one is a paragraph that contains a sub element as well as a sub element. So we've saved now. Let's look at what it looks like. It should look more reasonable now. Can you see? Below are questions to check if you are human and not robot. It makes more sense now. Number 1, H2O is a scientific representation for water. If this is true, proceed with the next question. And the second question says half plus half equals to 1. So I can now say something like, let me say, inside the paragraph, I can say, if true as well, click the link below to proceed with this training. Okay, so proceed, and then after this, what we're going to have is a link. Let's now have an anchor tag. We've talked about anchor tags already. So we're going to link this to our, let's just say maybe our contact page. Click to proceed with our training officials. Okay, officials. I hope I got that right. And inside the opening tag of the anchor tag, opening tag of the hey element, we're going to have our href link to the contact page, contact.html, and then I save. And once I save, everything comes in place. Can you see? So if this is true as well, click the link below to proceed with this training. And once I click here, it takes me to the contact page. All right, so in this video, we successfully dealt with the anchor tag. We've dealt as well with the list elements. And of course, lastly, we talked about the sub element, SUP, and we talked about the SUB, sub element. All right, guys, thank you. In the next video, we'll be talking about the image element, HTML image element, how to make images. See you in the next video.